right. Yeah. Sorry, now I remember.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
Thanks
Cool.
for joining us.
Yeah, sure. My pleasure.
Hello,
Hi,
Rebecca.
Tristan.
Hi. Hi, everybody. I know I was a little late getting here, but hi. Andrea.
Better late than never.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we may have, a few people that might be joining in later. They had things to do earlier, this evening, had already made plans. So
Actually, while
hopefully-
we're on the topic, let me run and get a Bluetooth speaker, okay? Just talk amongst yourselves. I just want to make you all louder.
Okay,
So I'm going to run and get a Bluetooth speaker and come right back.
Okay.
All right. Sounds
I don't
good.
think anybody's ever wanted me to be louder.
And
Wendy, do you want to
all
start
good.
in with the PowerPoint?
oh no, she froze up. Where's
I
it
think
me?
she froze again.
Yeah, she's been having a lot of problems.
Oh no.
Hi, Rick. It's Rebecca. How are you?
Hi, I'm
How do you like
good.
how do you like going from 74 yesterday to 35
Oh,
today?
man, oh, man.
Doesn't that suck?
This is brutal. Yeah, 30 degrees out there and the wind's blowing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and we were in shorts a couple days ago.
Yesterday.
Was that just yesterday? Yeah, it's hard to keep up and down the way it has been. This,
Okay, let's start this. Here we go. Can
oh,
anyone see this? Yes.
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 Okay, welcome.
No
Everyone,
problem.
this is the third International Marc Martel and One Vision of Queen virtual meetup in 2022.
Yay.
Yay. So this is the today's agenda. We already introduced ourselves, so bye.
Okay.
But there is a
Give me 1 second. I'm just going to
in this.
enable the Bluetooth and then you guys
Okay,
will be audible.
Okay.
Connected. Why don't I hear that?
Hello.
can you hear us?
Uh,
Is that any
hold on a
better?
second. Oh, I know what's
Okay.
happening. It's connected to my phone.
Ah,
Okay.
we'll figure this out.
Okay, now it should work. Let me hear you.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, it
How's
still doesn't
that?
work.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Hold on a second. It's connected to my phone. I just have to disconnect the phone. Sorry, techie stuff.
No, it'll work for you.
But that's why we got on early, was the techie stuff.
Yeah, I probably
Yeah.
should have done the same. My apologies.
No, it's okay.
No, it's all good.
It's all
We got a couple of things to do before we start asking you questions.
Okay.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Okay. It's still
She's
not
having-
connected. I
She's
don't know
having
why.
some technical issues on her end too.
Yeah,
So I guess for the sake of the recording, again, I'm Emily. I'm one of the admins of the International Marc Martel
already?
Fan
Okay.
Club.
So, hello, can you hear me?
Okay, now I can. Yep,
Yes.
there we are.
Yep.
Oh, she froze again.
I was gonna say, I
I've
think
heard
we're
my,
again.
We're having
Yeah.
our own technical difficulties today. Trying to get international around here.
she's on the other side of the world, so
Yeah.
anything can happen.
Actually, I'm close to Windy Home, about maybe only 5 kilometers.
Emily, why don't you go ahead?
Okay. Well, again, I said I'm Emily. I'm one of the admins of the International Marc Martel Fan Club. Bonnie, do you want to?
You want to go through the rules real quick?
Okay. What were the? I wish I had those in front of me.
Um,
Hello,
We have a few people who are going to probably.
sorry, can you hear me?
yes.
Wendy's still trying to get. There we go. Maybe.
Ah, there, she's got the rules. Awesome. Yes, obviously yes, be kind to each other. We're gonna mute here any new attendees that come in as we come in the room. Yeah, if you want to, there's a little raise your hand option in the Zoom. Feel free to use that if you have questions or put them in the chat. We'll be happy to share those with Tristan. That way we can get make sure he's good with those, or if we have any other questions that were coming up are maybe already on our list that we gave to him, he's going to get to. And then yes, please mute yourself after you speak. And if you don't feel comfortable talking on the Zoom call, you're free to just type it in the chat box and we'll read those for you too. So
Thank you, Emily.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Emily.
Thanks, Emily. So I think we're at the part where we introduce the MCs. I'll go ahead and go first since I'm already talking. My name is Bonnie Hunt. I am in North Carolina, USA, which is only one state over from Tennessee. And I am fortunate enough to have the band, on the East Coast a lot. And I try to see them at least 2 or 3 times a year. This year I saw them in Miami, Florida, Peachtree City, Georgia, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I was, I'm very fortunate to do that. Rick?
This is Rick Zynda, and I am in Madison, Wisconsin.
And Emily,
And,
of course. We'll start.
Are you hearing me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, coming through fine.
I have seen Mark. I met Mark about 12 years ago here in Madison in my church with down here. And I've seen them, and I've seen him playing solo, and I've seen the various iterations of the band. So I've seen the Mark about 12 times altogether, here and there and everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I've seen Tristan a few times on the big stage. And I guess I should say that I'm known for cheese curds from Wisconsin, because when I go to see Mark, I found out he loves cheese curds. So I always take a bag of fresh ones for he and the band. At least I hope he shares them. I guess we'll find out tonight.
Hey.
Always appreciated, Rick.
Oh, he does share. Good news.
I know you were hungry in Milwaukee, Tristan, so I don't know if you got some that night or not.
Was I? I don't even remember. Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I think I was hangry.
Yes.
We had to smuggle those things in.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get past security with cheese curds.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and start in with the questions for Tristan. And we're going to start with, when did you start playing in guitar, and why did you choose the guitar?
Well, it's a funny story because I actually got sent by my parents to a local church when I was, I think, like 8 or 9, to take lessons in a church basement. And I guess it was like something they could do with me to get me out of the house. And I hated it.
Really?
It was all stuff that I really couldn't relate to, like Michael row the boat ashore. And there was a bully who waited for me outside, like to beat me up.
Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah. So that wasn't real fun. And but then later on, puberty hit, and I discovered my older sister's record collection at about the same time. And that was just an explosive combination. It was just like I think I heard Jimi Hendrix, Voodoo Child, Slight Return, and Led Zeppelin, Heartbreaker, with that epic guitar solo in the middle. I heard those 2 things back to back, and I immediately knew what I was going to do for the rest of my life. So I'm a grown man living with the decision made by a 12-year-old. But
What
yeah,
about other?
that was all I wanted to do from there on.
So when did you first join a band or become a part of a band?
I guess I was in a band in high school called Lust. I think we'd probably get canceled today. And it was aptly named. It didn't really last long because I had like a monster crush on the singer Diane Silverstein. And so that kind of flamed out due to shall we say creative differences. But then I went on to play with other bands. Let's see, my next band, let me see, was Forced Entry. I guess that isn't very PC either. We play places like CBGB's.
Where was this? Where was home?
New York City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. What about other instruments?
And since then I've basically been in every band. There's a show I really like called Metalocalypse, about a fictional metal band, and the guitarist is Swedish, and when he gets asked this question, and he says, "Yeah, I was in a lot of bands. I was in Financially Raped, Smugly Dismissed, basically every band." Sorry, what was the next question?
Well, the next one I think would be, who is the most famous guitarist you've played with?
Well, that would have to be Brian May.
I guess so.
And I've had the pleasure of playing with him on a number of occasions.
So you go back a ways with him.
Yeah, actually, before Queen Extravaganza, I'd already been in 3 separate productions of We Will Rock You, the Queen musical. And Brian hires Brian and Roger had final say over the hiring of not only the band but the entire cast. So everybody auditioned, everybody auditioned for the usual people, the band leader and the contractor, but the final round was Brian and Roger flew in. And then when they come back for the premiere, and they play Bohemian Rhapsody live on stage with the cast and band. And so I'd actually before I played with Queen on American Idol, I'd already played with them on three other occasions.
Do you think that gave you an advantage when you tried out for Queen X?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because Roger was Roger's thing, and We'll Rock You was more Brian's thing.
Oh,
and
okay.
Roger wanted to find his own guys. He didn't want, he looked at me as one of Brian's guys. So I had to prove myself like everybody else. But fortunately, I'd already done about 1,500 services of the show, and I'd played Brian with Brian. I didn't play Brian. That wasn't my job. I just played guitar. But I played with him on a number of occasions, and you pick up certain things by osmosis. Just from standing next to the guy and sort of being in his aura, and also just I was so deeply immersed in the music that it was second nature. I mean, at that point, even when I screw up, I sound like Brian screwing up, which is handy because I screw up.
We don't notice.
I think that, and probably some other factors, by virtue of my height and maybe my facial features, like I might even sort of be vaguely reminiscent of Brian. So it's it didn't hurt, because Brian Gresh, the other guitarist, was wildly different. He was more of a Van Halen type player, and so I was there basically to bring that sound. Gresh kind of learned on the job. Fantastic musician, great player, but I was already kind of immersed in that music, and I knew the gear and everything. So but young Gresh picked up pretty quick. But it's probably the fact that I am very familiar with Brian's style is kind of greased the skids. I guess it sort of made it kind of undeniable. There was no on-the-job training required. I just knew what to do.
Do you play other instruments besides guitar?
No, I mean, not really well. I mean, here's my workstation, you know, like everybody, like every musician, right? Ta-da. And I have a keyboard, but I can play pads. And if I want to play parts, I sort of have to enter them in one note at a time. You know, I don't have any facility on any other instruments really.
Yeah. Now, what about, you've been known to do some jazz guitar. Are you heading in that direction at all, or is that
Well,
just
during lockdown, you know, I needed things to do, and that was something that I had intended to explore for a really long time. And you know, my dad was big in that world, and so was my uncle.
Oh.
Which is why I rebelled. I went in the opposite direction. But at the same time, I always kind of wish that I had, because first of all, it's kind of a lingua franca. I mean, you can go into a bar in Singapore, you can go into Harry's bar in Singapore, and even if like nobody in the bandstand can speak English, you can call a tune, and chances are, if you call Autumn Leaves, like everybody will know it, and you can just play with anybody in the world. And I toured with Cirque du Soleil, and there was a fantastic soprano sax player in the band, and a Cuban guy, and I spoke very little English. Fantastic virtuoso, and he would do that. He would go to jazz clubs and sit in, and I really envied that. And I also, you know, had done a lot of musical theater as a theater musician, not as an actor. And a lot of guys, particularly horn players, are conservatory trained, and they're heavy jazz cats, and they break your balls. If you're a rock player, you know, like they break your balls a lot. So I kind of like, you know, in a way, I kind of wanted to shut him up. You know, I'd like to be able to sit down and play a standard, and you know, and not crap out. So I think that's the next thing, is to actually play with some real guys. But for me, it was really more like just kind of reconciling myself with my past, and, you know, particularly my father, because I heard a lot of it in the house growing up, and it was you know, it was always part of my environment, and I just realized that it was something that was missing. So I got to work on it. Fortunately, YouTube is amazing. There's a lot of resources, and because I've been around it a lot as a kid, like I said, it took a lot of beating my head against the wall, but after about a year, it started to take. And now I can kind of, now I can kind of like play over a standard, not like anything blistering like giant steps, but any ballads or medium tempo stuff, I can kind of get from one end to the other without disgracing myself, which is huge for me anyway.
So I've got one question here that's from the chat. When you were doing the lockdown videos, you had shown us that you were farming in Logansport, I think. Do you still farm out there, and what are you doing these days?
No, I mean, it's, you know, it was a fantastic experience, and but, you know, like they say, it's hard work, but at least there's no money in it.
Yeah.
I raised 1,500 hemp plants for CBD. I wound up with about 1,000 pounds of dry flower at the end, and it was kind of all for naught, because the market was saturated by the time everything was bucked and dried. There was already millions of pounds of the stuff on the market just sitting there from the year before. So I came in late to the party. I think I got out at 10 cents to the dollar, but it was an incredible experience. Now I know how to build an irrigation system. I know how to run a tractor. I know how to plow, disc, and grade an acre of land. I know how to fertilize. I know how to do integrated pest management, and I could probably probably go on ad infinitum about it. I could probably bore you to tears with it, but I will say that it connects you to the great cycle in a way that almost nothing else does. except maybe having a child.
Hmm.
And it's an experience every human should have on Earth. Like at least once, I think everybody should raise a crop to harvest. It really connects you with,
Hmm.
it connects you with, well, everything in a way that nothing else does.
Where do you farm? I mean, where?
Actually
you're-
here, I'm right now at my folks' place in rural
Oh.
Indiana. They've got,
Oh.
my stepdad grew up here. His parents had apple orchards,
Hmm.
long since defunct, but there's still land and old but functioning machinery. So like the tractor's still going. So I went from making over 100,000 a year as a musician in the biggest hit musical in Canadian history. We're going into our third year, 8 shows a week. I went from
Wow.
that to nothing overnight because COVID. So I had to do something. Toronto was under total lockdown. It was February, which is usually depressing in Toronto, but it was just beyond depressing. The whole world shut down, and so I just left. I couldn't sit there and take the government check. It was just too demoralizing. I needed to do something, so it helped. It helped.
So
And
between
I've spent more time with my parents during COVID than I had probably in the previous 10 years put together. So that was a blessing as well.
Yeah.
So when you're not doing touring with Mark, you're doing plays or not plays?
No, I left Toronto. I was one of 5 guys in Toronto who got like all the calls. And but after COVID flatlined it, there was no reason then my kids left Toronto. They moved to Nashville, so there was no reason to stay. So I moved to Nashville earlier this year. I spent much of last year there doing reconnaissance. I made it official this year, and there's no musical theater scene there. When you say Broadway, they don't think musical theater. They think Lower Broadway, where the honky tonks are. It's a completely different universe. So
Yeah.
I'm not really a musical theater guy anymore. I mean, I would do it under the right circumstances, but I did it pretty much for about 20 years. And I did a lot of shows. I lost count after about 15 of them. So if I never do another one, I'm okay. What do I do when I'm not working with Mark? Well, I study and practice. I think a musician who doesn't study and practice is a bum, basically, is functionally indistinguishable from a bum. You should always be working on your skill set. I spend time with my kids as much as I can. They live a couple of hours away with their mom. So I try to see them every couple of weeks. And I'm actually working up an online course. Now I'm a content creator. I'm creating a course called Guitar Mastery with Tristan Avakian. I've been studying online on different platforms like TrueFire and ArtistWorks for the past couple of years. And really what occurred to me this year was I could do this. Because some of these guys, like in Nashville, like I could go through a lesson on their course, and then I can go see him. I could go see him play in a bar like 20 minutes later. And I was like, wait a minute. I know these guys. I know what they're doing. I could totally do this. So I'm doing it. And right now I've got a Facebook group called Guitar Mastery with Tristan Avakian. It's been up for less than 2 weeks. It's already got 500 members. I'm doing my first live stream. Thanks. I'm doing my first live stream on Sunday, and to celebrate that milestone. And I'm going to be launching my online curriculum in the new year.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat as soon as I figure out how to do that. And Nashville's a fun place. I mean, you can go out any night of the week and see just a mind-bendingly great guitar player. It's like almost any night of the week you can see a guy who's incredible, like passing the bucket for tips. Emily, I would like to. I'll just answer that because I don't know how to get to the chat. I'll just answer that. I don't think that my curriculum would be suitable for a beginner. Where I'm focused is intermediate players who want to go pro, or maybe a guy or gal who picked up guitar during lockdown and they're self-taught, but they're getting frustrated. They're sort of, because YouTube is bewildering, particularly for a novice. There's too much information. A lot of it's wrong. And it's I would say that it's a mischaracterization to call it free. It's not free if you have to spend hours of your own time trying to find the right information. So I'm basically looking for the student who has some basic skills together, but they're frustrated, they've plateaued, and they want to get to the next level. And so I would characterize my ideal student as intermediate.
We've got a group of questions that people submitted about touring.
Okay.
And hopefully you've had a chance to see some of those questions, but things like, where's your favorite destination that you've been, and why?
Well, I love New Zealand because I'm an avid fly fisherman, and that probably answers the hobby question too. We had a couple of days off, and I hired a guide, and he got me into some of the best fishing of my life. This year, I really loved Montreal because I'm familiar with it. First of all, I was a Canadian resident for about 15 years, and in the spring, it's always an incredible place because because winter is over, and the sun is out, and the students are out of school, and and the bars are open, and it's just like this explosion of color and life. And this year it was especially so because the lockdowns had been lifted, and the lockdowns in Quebec were particularly draconian. They had curfews and stuff. So it was a double whammy. It was spring hitting and then the lockdowns lifting. So we got there like a week later and we landed right in the middle of that. It was like, blah! So I had a fantastic time. It was like holodeck load rockstar experience level 5. I had a lot of fun. That's all I'm going to say. Also, we were there long enough because we had a pretty long sit down at one theater. That helps, is when you're in one place long enough to really enjoy it, because a lot of people they might look at our itinerary and think, well, look at all these fabulous places you're going, but for the most part, you see the airport, the hotel, the venue, then the same thing in reverse, and then the next day you do it over again. And it's not like being a tourist. It's a very different experience.
Well, I think
Go ahead.
I think one of the big questions that a lot of people are asking is, how did you pull off the show in Chile or Chile?
Well, we had to. I mean, in the immortal words of, I think Brian wrote the song, actually. The show must go on.
Yeah.
And there were 10,000 people. It was a sold out venue, and we simply couldn't disappoint them. So we just called it. We're going to do this. We were in Peru, in a beautiful hotel, a fabulous hotel that had a piano in the lobby. Mark sat down at the piano. I got a hold of an acoustic guitar, and we ran through the set for like a few hotel employees who were absolutely delighted. And fortunately, as you already know, you've been following Mark since his down here days. He's a fantastic musician, and he's not only the maybe the greatest singer that I've ever worked with, which is saying a lot. After 20 years in musical theater and many years before that in rock and roll, it's saying a lot. But he's also a fabulous musician. He has a great ear. So we just took the songs one by one. We figured out what the essential parts were, and we carved them up. Okay, I'll do this and you do that. Like it worked. You basically just find the center line, like the parts that make the song go, and you play that. And it was, to my amazement, some things actually worked really great that way. Radio Gaga is like an 80s synth pop song, and you never would think that you could pull that off. But between the two of us, we did. And it's also a testament to how well the songs are written. I mean, like Under Pressure is like, it's like a Swiss watch. I mean, the parts just fit together so well, and there's a kind of simplicity to it as well. There's really like the first couple of Queen records were crazy. It was like everything and the kitchen sink. But after they got that out of their system, when you listen to it, they're kind of associated with prog rock and excess, but there's actually a kind of real simplicity and functionality to a lot of their music. There's nothing is wasted. Like every note has got its own space. Every part works together and it all matters. So you just find the center line and you go down the center line. You just go down that line. It's like see you at the other side, and the thing, it works. It just works. And it went really well. I think out of 10,000, I think we only had 100 walkouts, which is pretty good.
Jeez, that's amazing. Yeah.
Let me see. Was the show recorded? I think a lot of it's on YouTube. Generally speaking, whenever we play a show, a lot of it winds up on YouTube, which is handy because it helps me actually critique my own performance. Although generally speaking, as soon as Mark is finished singing and the guitar solo starts, off goes the camera. That's a good problem to have. That's a problem with being in a band with Mark.
Oh, not the night
my camera goes on.
Not the night that you did the tribute to the Queen when she passed away. You did a solo that night.
That one. Solo, I try to change things up. My solo is like tofu. It takes on the flavor of whatever's around it, right? So the Queen had just passed, so I did a little bit of God Save the Queen. In Iceland, I did a Björk song. I did a little bit of the theme from a movie called Dancer in the Dark. And yeah, I try to mix. I try to mix it up, not only for my benefit, but for yours. Especially if we played in the same town before, I like to give you something a little different every time.
So connected to Chile, maybe that kind of answers the question already. But do you have a favorite funny story or crazy happening as you're touring that you could share?
And I took some notes when I was reading the questions, because now I can't remember. Oh yeah, we were in Cannes. We played like a FedEx convention. It was like the annual party they throw for like whoever the biggest salespeople are, like whoever racked up the best numbers.
Sure.
And so it's all Americans. They're in France. They're not just in France. They're in Cannes. It's a private party with an open bar, and it's just total bedlam. They're whipping it up. They're wasted. It's just woo. So we go back to the hotel, and they're all staying at the hotel, and the party is continued at the bar. I'm out on the patio, and I watch a woman inside the bar walk out to the patio, unaware of the fact that there's a glass door between her and the patio. And she walks right into it like and staggers off, leaving behind a full face print of her makeup. It was like the Shroud of Karen.
Oh my.
So that was fun.
That is funny.
Yeah, well, actually, corporates and privates are usually really fun because it's not a reverential experience for them. They're not hanging on to every note. They're dancing, they're drinking a lot, they're having a great time. It's not like it's not a listening audience; it's a partying audience. So privates and corporates are usually pretty mad. They're a lot of fun.
You guys have gone to some strange places in the last year. Out in the middle of what Idaho and flat tires.
That was great. That was a lot of fun. Really incredibly scenic, like beautiful scenery. We did hit a deer on the way back. We had to drive back because we had an early flight. Obviously we had to drive to Stanley from Boise, and we had an early flight out of Boise the next morning. So we had to drive back after the show, and it was brutal. It was through the Sawtooth National Forest, all mountains. It was like 3 hours of driving like this.
Yep, I've been there. Yeah.
Oh, you have? Yeah. It's a beautiful part. it's a beautiful part of the world. People think Idaho, you know, potatoes, but it's actually the Rockies. It's
No,
mountains and rivers and, you know, and
It's
forests.
beautiful,
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
The whole northern part, yeah, it is. Bonnie, what else do you have on your list?
Well, I've got one that's not on our list, but is there any songs that y'all are considering adding into the sets?
We're probably gonna bring in It's a Kind of Magic.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. We're gonna have we're gonna have a sit down and figure it out because we do want to have some surprises next year. It's a little bit tricky because the hits are the hits.
Yeah.
And most people only know the hits. I mean, when I was in Queen Extravaganza, one of Roger's goals was, you know, let's bring out some of the deep cuts. But the fact is, when we played one of the deep cuts, there'd be like, you know, 3 people that'd be like, woo! And everybody else would be like, huh?
Yeah.
So it's a little,
Exactly.
it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
I really liked doing Death on Two Legs, but you know, nobody got it. You know what? I can't see the chat, so I can't answer your questions.
Let's see.
Why don't we do questions at the end? Why don't we leave some time for the chat at the end?
Okay. Are you thinking about adding Seaside Rendezvous in?
I would love to. I'd have to bring a ukulele, but big deal. They don't take up much room.
Yeah, it looked like y'all had a lot of fun doing that.
Oh, that thing was horrible. I got the smallest one that I could possibly find. And I was sorry. I mean, it was great comic effects, but boy, that thing was hard to play. But it is a lot of fun. I'd like to throw that into the set. I'd also like to do, you know, I'd like to do a couple of Brian songs, like 39, maybe.
I know that's a favorite for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
I don't sing like
Right.
Brian at all, but Mike does. Mike can sing just like him.
Oh,
So I've kind of been agitating for that one. But as far as any plans, we haven't actually had had much time to sit down and figure it out. We have a couple more dates this year, so I'm sure we will.
yeah, you mentioned Mike. I don't know that many of us know anything about Mike. He kind of disappears off the stage and he doesn't say much, and yeah, we just don't see much of him.
Yeah, he's an enigma wrapped in a mystery.
Oh, really?
But also he keeps to himself. He's just there to do. He's just there to do,
Yeah.
to basically to do the gig. And I don't see that much of him. He doesn't really he doesn't really do the sightseeing or the tour, any of the tourist stuff. He works out. He goes to the gym.
Well, that's his
And,
thing.
yeah, that's his life. Is based in working out and and pro wrestling. Big pro wrestling fan. Yeah.
Pro
Yeah.
wrestling.
I did
Talk to
not
him
know
about
that.
anything but music, and especially anything but guitar pedals. Talk to him about wrestling, and he'll be happy.
Yeah, Oscar's another one that kind of hides out. I've not
Yeah.
yet met Oscar at any of the shows.
Yeah, well, same kind of thing. They're just you know,
Need to get away.
they just basically want to go to bed. Oscar has usually got he's a working musician in New York City, so he's usually got another gig the next day, and he's got to wake up earlier before any of us to get to the airport to, you know, to get to a sound check by noon or something crazy like that. So yeah, he's all business.
Yeah, and drummers put out so much physical exercise, exertion. Oh my!
That's the other thing.
Yeah, you have to have some recovery time, I would think.
Cool. He's hold on a second. I got to turn off notifications. Like I'm seeing these notifications on my screen. It's a little distracting. So.
Oh, your internet connect.
Okay, done.
See. I'm scrolling through the chat now to look at the questions.
Also, if somebody wants to go to Facebook and look up Guitar Mastery with Tristan Avakian, that's my group, and maybe just copy and paste the URL into the chat, then everybody can have it. Even if you don't know somebody, even if you don't want to play guitar, you're not interested in guitar, maybe you know somebody who would appreciate a package of 10 lessons for Christmas.
Mhm.
I'm doing
That's
a
a
Black
good
Friday sale next Friday, all weekend. I'm doing 25% off a package of 10. Just putting it out there.
Okay. All right. So I'm reading in here. Emily has said up. And I'm not sure if that's an abbreviation for something.
Under
Is-
pressure.
Oh, of course. One of my favorites. How can I forget that? It says one that Mark had you guys make a YouTube video together. So I had a hard time imagining how you broke it down in 2 parts. And then she says,
Oh.
we've been coming enough now that we want more deep cut.
Well, the way we broke it down. Hold on a second. I have a guitar here. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
I just happen to have a guitar here, so I'll show you.
Can you imagine that? He's got a guitar
Never
Somebody had to
imagined.
do this.
within arm's reach.
Somebody had to do this. And that somebody would be me. So, you know, then Mark just went bling blong, you know, and we just did it like that. There's, you just find the essential parts. And, well, we're only 2 guys, but Mark's got 2 hands because he's at the piano. And, one way or another, you get it done. Like for Radio Gaga, we didn't have the like the synthesizer playing a sequence, but you know, I could just and you already go, okay, yeah, it's that song. And that's how you do it. You just play something that makes people go, okay, it's that song. You just do that.
And Diane and Alan said they would love to hear y'all play Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be a lot of fun. It's hard because there's a lot of overdubs. It was a lot easier to do that kind of stuff, and especially the original lineup of Queen Extravaganza, because there were 9 people on stage, you know.
Wow.
But like I said, you can always break it down. We managed to do Seaside Rendezvous with 3 guys, so anything's possible. And the bottom line is we've got Mark, and Mark has got that voice, and that just brings people in right away. It's like it's you know, he just opens his mouth and everybody just goes, of course. So that gets you a lot, like an appreciable proportion of the way there. Which is not to say that any of us, you know, like rest on our laurels or sit on our asses. We're all working hard to make the thing be as good as it could possibly be. I never phone it in. You know, I never coast. I'm always thinking of ways to make it better. But you know, we have the big gun. That definitely helps.
Besides playing with Mark, which is obviously number 1, if you could play with any other band, who would it be?
I love Ghost.
Ghost. I don't know.
Even though
Ghost.
they're not really a band. It's really one guy, Tobias, but I think he's a genius. And the last record in particular, Impera, I think is the best thing that's happened in rock and roll in years. Yeah, look him up.
Yeah, it's ringing a bell. Now
It's got everything. It's got theatrics and elegance and menace and some humor and just everything, you know, theatricality. Everything that I love about rock and roll is in there. And good tunes, cracking good tunes.
Look that up.
I think one of the questions was, is there anyone living or dead that you would have liked to have played with? And the answer, of course, is Bowie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually know a lot of guys who have played with him. But for some reason it was just never my turn. And so I do regret that. I regret never having worked with him because while I revere him, I can also do a fairly I can drive pretty close to the baritone range of his voice, which I know he appreciated. He would always have Carlos, his guitar player, would always sing at sound check because David hated sound checks. He always would just go out the front of house and while Carlos sang. So he probably would have appreciated that. And I'm really well versed in all of his guitar players. Like I've studied Mick Ronson inside out, Earl Slick, Adrian Belew. Like I've completely absorbed the styles of like the guitar style, like on every one of those records. So, but then again, he might have hated that, you know, because he was always on the lookout for something new. He didn't want to be stuck in a museum. But yeah, I would have loved to work with him.
So you're playing guitar for on a couple of different soundtracks thing. I've seen you posting.
Yeah, there was. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know about soundtracks. I can't remember the last soundtrack that I did, but I did have the opportunity to. There was an orchestral. There's an orchestral Bowie show that's come together under the direction of Donnie McCaslin, who was the band leader on Black Star, Bowie's last album. And they're doing like orchestral versions of his later period stuff. And I was actually asked by the arranger to sing on the demos. And even though nobody will ever hear it, because they have to get bankable stars for, you know, for the concert, they have to get names put asses in seats. That's, you know, they sell tickets. So I'll probably never be asked to do it live, but just the fact that I got to do it on the demos it's one of the coolest things that I've ever done. I wish I could play it for you, but it's not my property. I will say that it was the orchestrations were magnificent, and it was a great thing to be a part of, and probably, you know, one of the coolest things. Another one of those coolest things that I've ever done that will never see the light of day. But no, I can't remember the last time I worked on a soundtrack. It's been a while.
How did you like playing with Boston Pops?
Fantastic. It's probably, I think they probably got a kick out of me as much as I did out of them, because I wasn't even looking at the audience. I kept turning around and just get with this cheesy grin on my face because it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Do you have one favorite song that you like to play?
Oh, you mean in our set?
Out, of any kind. Of any kind.
Oh, of any kind.
A favorite guitar solo that you like to play.
Oh, geez, I don't know. Probably Stone Cold Crazy is like the high point of the set for me, because I've just done my solo and we go bang into that, and the solo is pretty intense. I'm very exposed. I couldn't be like, you know, like more naked for most of it. For most of it, it's just me. So it's pretty intense. It takes really intense concentration. And coming out of that and still Stone Cold Crazy, I just get to explode, like all that pent up like tension. I just get to go blah, and then I get it all out. And then the rest of the show is smooth sailing. Basically, at that point, I've said everything I'm going to say. I've left it all on the stage, and I could just.
Seems like it'd be hard to recover from that and keep going.
Well, sometimes it's hard when I get when I get back to the room. Sometimes it's hard to come down, but you get used to it. You know, from going to like intensity to like nothing.
Yeah,
it's probably better for your health if you make some kind of mental some kind of mental adjustment afterwards. You know, because that's the reality.
Yeah,
that's the reality. That's what it is. You're going nuts in front of 10,000 people, and then nothing.
Yeah.
And nothing, frequently in the middle of nowhere, you know, like a Holiday Inn Select by the interstate.
Kind of sense that when we came down in Milwaukee, we came down to the stage, and and Brandon came out and we shared the cheese curds. But you know, it was like, now they're tearing the whole stage apart, and it's a whole different scene. All of a sudden, you're done. You're done, and
Yeah, show's over. Go home.
yeah, yeah.
And, you know, that's fun. Because because it's a great job, but after all, it's a job, and that's like it's important to remember that it's not you know it's not all fun and games.
Just looks that way during the show.
Oh, absolutely, and it is fun.
Yeah.
This is a great gig. I mean, you want there are three things, right? There's good guys, good music, good bread, and this is like the trifecta. This is all three, which is rare. And the fact that I get to do this, you know, I'm really grateful to Queen for hiring me in the first place. And you know, it's changed the trajectory of my life. And I love playing this music. It's superior. And you're my boss, actually. The audience is my boss. And you come with certain expectations, and I try to exceed them. That's the gig.
So we just got a couple of fun questions. Like, what's your favorite food?
Well, let me see. I think the question was that you sent me was as far as cities or destinations, what was the best food? Singapore. When I was there with Cirque du Soleil, I really liked the food, especially like the hawker stalls, the street food. I've eaten street food everywhere and never gotten sick, except in Mexico City. But that was, you know, that was my own damn fault. I think the other question was beer. I'm not really a beer guy, but in Cannes, there's near the old quarter, there's a farmer's market with a lot of fabulous delicacies. Unfortunately, I didn't have a kitchen, so I couldn't really take advantage of it. But facing the square is a small wine bar. I sat down and I ordered a glass of wine. And I know just enough French so that I knew what the guy was saying. He was saying, no, you don't want that. You want this. And he brought it, and he was right. It was the best glass of white wine that I've ever had in my life. It was exquisite. And I was like, okay, I'm done. If I never have another one for the rest of my life, I'm done. Nothing's going to top this. That's the
Was it a grape wine, or was it made from
I can't
something
remember
else?
I can't remember what the variety was. I just remember that it wasn't, I ordered off the board. There was a chalkboard, but he was like, no, you don't want that. You want this. And he was right. I wish I'd asked him to bring me the bottle so I could take a picture of it or whatever, but it might've been just the experience, like that moment. You know, so so there's what I found about experiences is that they diminish if you try to repeat them. There's a time and a place for everything. Or to quote Lord Byron when invited to a second orgy, once is fun, twice is perversity.
All right. I've got another crazy question, I guess. It says, why didn't you wear any pants in the lockdown video? And I can't recall which video that was.
Yeah, I didn't know that my legs would be in the shot because, you know, I'm damn it, Jim, I'm a guitar player, not a videographer. But then, you know, I saw the take. The take was perfect. You could only see like a flash of leg like now and then. And I figured, well, this is an Easter egg for the super fans. Somebody's going to notice this and the comment section is going to blow up. I decided to leave it. Because
they did.
Yeah. I decided to leave it because, first of all, it was a perfect take and I didn't want to do it again. Like, you know, like the Lord Byron concept again. And also, I just realized that it might kind of be fun for anybody who happened to catch it because it was just a real super like lockdown Zoom meeting moment. You know, the guy who puts on a suit jacket from the waist up and he just doesn't bother with pants. It's kind of a classic 2020 kind of thing. And people are going to look at that a decade from now and go, that's so 2020. So you're welcome.
Do you have a favorite fan moment?
I'm going to take the fifth. Taking the fifth. Although I have to say, I don't know. I mean, they're all great. I would say probably the high point, just as far as audience goes, is Buenos Aires. It was incredible. They did like the full, just exactly what you want when you're playing Queen music in South America. It was like the football chants, and like they wouldn't let us go. We did 3 encores. It was that was incredible. That was absolutely incredible.
What do you play in a third encore? You already played pretty much everything.
Can't even remember. We just kept on going through like everything we knew. And I think finally Mark did something solo at the piano, and then they were finally satiated.
Calmed them down, huh?
But actually, that's one of my favorite moments during the show is when Mark is doing Love of My Life. I watch it every night, and it always, oh yeah, that's right. He played Who Wants to Live Forever. I would love to throw that into the set.
Oh yeah.
But that's a hard song to sing, and he nailed it like at the end of a long set. So what a pro that guy is. But yeah, actually one of my favorite moments during the show is when he's at the piano doing Love of My Life solo. I actually watch from the wings every night, and it freaks me out every time. And the audience is so still, you could hear a pin drop, like in those moments of silence. And that's really something. I mean, like a big crowd, totally spellbound like that. That's an amazing moment. That to me is kind of the high point of the show. Not the least of which because I'm not busy. I'm not like busy thinking about my own thing. I can focus on somebody else, and it's incredible. He's really something.
Do you feel like playing anything for us as a kind of a closeout?
I don't know. Let's see.
Chris's arm, huh?
Anyway, that's my warm out. Yeah, that's my warm up. Actually, I drive everybody in the dressing room crazy with that before we go on.
That's it. Huh?
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for joining us, Tristan. We really appreciate your time.
Sure do.
And
yes, we do. Tristan. Thanks, Tristan.
Yeah, and yeah, I hope to see you on my Facebook group.
Surely.
I'm already there.
All right. Cool.
I don't play, but I'll follow.
Awesome, guys.
Thanks, Tristan.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
If there's no you, there's no us. So thanks for being.
Appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we'll see you at a show soon.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I'll see you somewhere down the road.
Definitely. Definitely.
It ain't over till it's over. Good night, Tristan.
Good night.
Hey,
John. Morning.
He's a complicated man, is he not?
I love his sense of humor.
Oh yeah. That's he's got a lot going on.
He's got a very open personality too.
Mhm.
Seems very down to earth.
Yes, he does. Very.
I've always thought that a great guitar player has to be very intelligent in order to do that. So, he proves that.
I've been fortunate enough to, see him at several shows in the past 2 years and, talk to him for a few minutes. So very, very nice person.
I've seen him several times, but I've only had a chance to talk to him once so far, but I'm hoping to be able to talk to him more going down the road.
I've only messaged with him a couple of times, but he has said some very kind things about Mark and come to his defense many times online even. And he says Mark is one of the most genuine people he knows. But I would put that back on Tristan. He is who he is. He often takes an environmental stand, things like that. He's very sensitive spiritually. So I enjoy that aspect of him. He's a deep thinker. That like you guys noticed, he is open to just being honest with who he is and how he feels about things, and that's something to be looked up to.
Yeah, I really couldn't agree anymore. Yeah, what was that?
Actually, Brandon is a real, just a straight, regular guy when you talk to him. And of course, Mark is, just as kind and humble as can be. They're not like they are on stage by any means.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they flip to another channel when they're on.
Even though they act like rock stars on stage, they're
They have a stage presence and a personal presence.
Yeah.
They're very Go ahead.
I didn't ask any of the questions about, where they were going to be touring because Tristan does not have any of that knowledge. He's just told this is where you're going at this time. So that's why I didn't ask any of the location questions.
Yeah. Yeah, any decisions about where the band goes and why don't they go to Europe and that kind of thing, he can't answer that.
You guys did a great job with the questions. I know I walked in very late, but I'm so glad I could join for part of it. And it's so nice to finally put faces to the names I just see on here. So hi, Andrea and Norma and Anna and Emily and Bonnie.
Well, Jackie, glad you could join us for a little bit anyway.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I don't care about my data. I'm in my car right now. It's -7 outside. So yeah.
I wonder why you were all covered up and bundled.
Yeah. Well, I had the hat on at first, and then I took it off. So.
Wow. Where are you?
I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada.
You must be way north.
We just had we had like -20 something for a low a couple of nights ago. So yeah, for colder than the deep freeze.
Too early for that.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. Here in here we see that all the time. But it's great to see everybody.
Good to see you too.
Nice to see you
Thanks.
too.
Very nice. It's 82 here.
oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh yeah, so this was something we set up for part of this event since we wanted to be able to thank Tristan for spending his Friday night with us. So we went and set up a page on the Alzheimer's Association so we can have people contribute to that cause in his name. So we have the link. Yep, go ahead.
Ah,
I was gonna say we had the link in the chat. We also put it on our International Fan Club Facebook, but if people want to share that, tried to make the URL pretty simple, easy to remember.
Thank you for that, Emily.
Thanks, Emily. That's
And the last I saw, if anyone really cares about that, where our value is up to, we're currently at $295 donated US dollars. So thank you everybody who's donated. Appreciate that.
Sweet.
excellent.
It's for a very good cause.
Yeah.
and the reason he chose this was because his mother has
Exactly.
Alzheimer's, so he's dealing with it.
And there are many others who are dealing with it as well. So it's in the minds of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We all know somebody,
Mhm.
family or otherwise.
Yeah, I had a family member that went through it. So yeah, I know up close and personal what it's like. It's not an easy path.
No, no.
So has everybody listened to the new Christmas CD?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
What's your favorite track off of the new CD?
I still like White Christmas.
I like the Grinch. I think he done a killer job on the Grinch.
I was gonna say,
It was a good one.
I think I gotta lean toward the Grinch. I'm with you, Alan.
The Grinch for a fun one, and I maybe because I listened to Andrew Peterson's Behold the Lamb of God series, and I like his take on labor of love. That one is like I have to make sure I have a Kleenex.
Oh,
Yes.
that's my favorite.
Yeah. I'm like you, Emily. I started crying the first time I heard him do that off that. Definitely a tearjerker.
I listened to that for the first time Sunday morning when I was getting ready to go to church, and immediately started crying and couldn't put my eye makeup on. It was just, ugh. I love the fun ones, but that's my favorite.
Definitely need a box of Kleenex.
Yes. I thought he did awesome on Run Run Rudolph also. It's a fun one.
I liked his the remake of the George Michael Christmas one, Last Christmas.
Last Christmas.
With our
I liked his new recording of that.
Right.
Especially when he whispered. I was like, ooh.
I like the video that came out today too.
It's lovely. Love it. Yeah.
Very, very classy.
Very. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I think it was very, very good. Mm-hmm.
I think he kind of channeled Elvis with that dancing.
Yeah. I love the dance moves.
Yeah.
Definite Mark dance moves.
Yeah.
Miss seeing his face play when he's playing guitar though. Come on.
Yeah.
He couldn't keep his feet still if he wanted to. He'd have to hog time, I think, to keep his feet still.
And as always, Crystal did a great job with the set decoration. I'm sure she had a big hand in that.
That's actually a set that Jeremy, I'm gonna get it wrong, but that the director built, and he's used that for other artists. So it's pretty cool that they had it available for Mark again too. So it's like,
that's cool.
I recognize that.
It was her with all her talent.
Hi, Gail.
Hi. That's Gail. She's in Australia.
I was just looking for something and it made a noise, so I turned it off.
Does anybody have any? Go ahead.
Hi, Gail. How are you?
Hi, Andrea. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey,
Hope
Gail.
all is well over there.
Yeah, it's 82 over here.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm jealous. Because definitely not that here.
No,
Well, it's 68 here.
Yeah, and 30 something for somebody in Canada. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I like the cold, but not that cold.
I don't like cold, period.
Me either.
Oh, wow.
That and this time change I'm not fond about.
No.
No,
No.
not a fan. Not a
Definitely
fan.
not a fan. Definitely not
So
a fan.
for the people who work in Celsius, that's 27 degrees Celsius from 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's 27. Yeah, there we go. Somebody said put it in the chat. Yeah, 27.
You're talking about daylight saving, Andrea?
Yes, I am.
We don't have a daylight saving in Brisbane.
Supposedly next year, from what I have heard, when we spring forward, it's supposed to be left alone, I think.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Oops. I'm ready for it to be left alone.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Anna.
Hello, Anna. How are you?
Can you hear my fan?
Yeah.
Is my fan really loud?
No, I don't hear it.
No.
No, we just hear you.
Really,
I
it's
have a
not that
fan.
bad, Anna.
I'm in our bedroom with the fan on at 0 degrees Celsius. Supposedly it's too warm in here.
Canadians.
Glad you could join us, Anna.
I thought I would not make it. I went to see my brand new great niece, but we couldn't stay long, so she's so beautiful.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She's my twin sister is a grandma.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Wow. That's crazy to even think about.
Yes.
With your daughter getting married, you might be one before long.
I hope they wait.
So does anybody have any fan stories they want to share?
I can tell you all one now that the Christmas CD's out. Back in April, or a little before April, when Mark first posted about working on his Christmas CD, and he mentioned something about working on a Stevie song. And a few weeks later, we saw him in Knoxville with Black Jacket. And when we met outside and were talking on the street before he went in to do the show, I said, so you got to tell me, I said, is it Stevie Nicks, Stevie Wonder, or Stevie Ray Vaughan? And he was like, you promise not to say anything? And I said, I swear I won't say anything. And he said, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, disrespected that.
You're the one in the know.
So truly, you did not tell anyone, Diane?
Maybe a couple of coworkers, but that was it. And yeah, but I was tickled because I love that song. He said a lot of people didn't recognize it or hadn't heard it before, but
Really?
I love it.
Wow. I hear it on the radio every year.
Yeah. I keep questioning his music circles, and he's like, I've not heard this one before. And I'm like,
I know. What was the other one that he's trying to think of the other song he said that people had never heard before that he did? I'm trying to remember. Shoot.
the fact that he didn't recognize Christmas Waltz last year, I was like, Michael W. Smith covered that one. Come on.
And Zach, You Santa Claus. Yeah. I remember he said last year, Zach, You Santa Claus, that a lot of people hadn't heard it. And I was like, was just one of my favorites because I love that old swing like stuff and everything. All the old sound of music.
Yes,
That's my
fantastic.
I have a fan disappointment story.
Oh, no.
What happened?
Well, what happened is we went to Nashville. It was sometime this past summer, and we went one night to the Raymond Auditorium for a concert. And it was, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Gregory Alan Isikoff. Ever hear of him?
Yeah.
What's the last name?
Isikoff.
Oh,
Strange name. Well, he look him up. He is excellent. South African. I'm not sure where he is now, but unique folky. I don't know how to describe him. A little bluegrass, a little folk.
My daughter loves him, his music.
Oh, okay. Somebody knows. Okay, so we went to see him, and next day I'm on Facebook, and up pops a picture of Mark and Crystal and Josh and his wife and another couple. They were in the same concert that night as I was.
Oh my goodness.
I think I remember that.
Only I would have known.
Below you.
Oh my gosh, you know, what are the chances of that? Yeah, I think they were in the balcony and we were down below. And
where was this?
In Nashville. That's
Is it at the Ryman?
At the Ryman.
Yeah, at the Ryman. Yeah, the old theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great place. Yeah, it was a great concert. And yeah. So what a disappointment. We were in the same building and could have had a nice after the show, you know, a little conversation with all of them, but didn't happen. Yeah. So that was a downer, but I was glad they were there because that really showed how good this guy is. You know, they don't go to concerts every other night. So yeah, look it up. They do one. There's a venue. I forget the name of it. It's in a cave in eastern Tennessee or Kentucky, and there are a lot of concerts that everybody wants to play there because it's an actual cave, and you know, it's big because it's a big cave, and the acoustics are perfect because there's no sound at all except for what's happening down there. And yeah, they do one in that cave, and it's excellent. So yeah, you'll be a fan if you listen.
Yeah, I have not heard of that before.
Yeah, I just stumbled across it once on YouTube, and you can find other concerts there, of course.
Is he a storyteller?
Yeah, I think you could call it that. His group with him, all just excellent musicians. I mean, they started jamming when they did their encore. It was just unbelievable. In fact, that concert is on YouTube. It was, you know, at the Ryman. So you got to see that again too.
A few years ago, Mark tweeted about the Weekender group or something. The Weekend? No.
The Weekend.
No, not that famous pop group.
Vampire Weekend.
Vampire Weekend, yes.
They're good.
So I checked them out. They're pretty amazing. Also,
they are.
Quite intellectual. What would you call it?
I'll have to check them out because I had not heard of them either.
Me
I'll have
either.
to check them out. I'll have to check into that.
They have very eclectic music.
Do they? Okay.
I think
I'll
I've heard
definitely check into that.
music.
You don't have to remember the name Isikoff. All you have to do is type into YouTube Gregory Allen,
Okay.
and it'll come up. There aren't any Gregory Allen.
Okay.
I think the place you was talking about is called the Caverns in Grundy County, Tennessee.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. It's
Weird
way
Al,
over in the east.
Weird Al recently performed there.
That'd be a great place to visit. So unique.
I have to check that out sometime. Probably not too far from us.
Probably not. May just be like a couple hours from y'all.
Yeah. Where is it?
Every time I hear the name Weird Al, the first thing I think is another one rides the bus, and I just loved it that Mark threw that in a couple of times. In the States anyway. That just made my day and then some, because I was actually riding the school bus when that song came out, and we were laughing our heads off on the school bus hearing that one.
That's funny.
Oh, funny.
That is funny.
It looks like those caverns are only about maybe 3 hours or so from us. That's right above Chattanooga.
Just north of Chattanooga, yeah.
That's not that far. That's not that far from y'all then.
No.
Really? Might be a good day trip for you two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's on my bucket list.
We saw Blondie at the Ryman a few years ago. That's a beautiful auditorium.
Oh yeah, it's the history in that place. Wow.
That's his fantasy woman. From back in our high school days.
Back in the day.
So she probably does not look now like what she did back then.
Hey, she's still wearing him high heel shoes and rocking on. I mean, she's doing better than me.
Well, look at Tina Turner. Tina Turner was rocking those 6 to 8 inch heels, dancing on it for like 3+ hours at her age.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do that. Not that long.
Don't they get back trouble wearing heels like that?
You'd think.
Is she still out there doing it?
I think she's pretty well retired now.
I think Blondie's quite it.
She's got to be way up there in age.
Yeah.
I think she's getting way up there now.
I think Debbie Harry's in her 70s, I believe. But she's still kicking.
Now, I don't think she does a whole lot of touring anymore, though, to speak of.
Oh, these people just don't seem to age.
She's 77 years old.
77?
Yeah.
Wow. She's older than I thought, because I was thinking like 73-ish.
That's what I was thinking too, Andrew. She's they had a new album come out. When was it? Last year, year before? It was good.
Really? Yeah. I didn't know they released another one. I'll have to check that out.
They've been putting out. She's had what, 2 or 3 come out in the last few years?
It's been over several
Over the past
years,
maybe 10 years, she's had 2 or 3 new albums come out. Yeah.
Shows you how behind in the times I guess I am as of late.
Well, he keeps up with her.
Some days I can't keep up with myself. Never mind.
Amen to that.
Lord.
Oh. Is Bonnie already went bye-bye?
I'm back. My laptop, I lost internet connection.
Oops.
I was gonna say, girl, I can tell you've lost weight. You look good.
Thank
So
you.
you guys. Bonnie looks good, but y'all look amazing too.
Yes.
We've been trying. Together we've lost a whole person.
Wow.
The secret is to starve yourself to death.
Wow, good for you. I'm fasting until noon, but
I wonder when Mark will start performing back here in the States.
I know he's got pretty full overseas schedule in 2023 is looking like.
Yeah.
All I've seen is January in California, and then the one up in Lynn, Massachusetts in June.
And everything else has been pretty well overseas, I think.
This is the August Canada, so it'll be in Ottawa.
Ottawa, Canada.
So at least North America. You don't want to go to Mexico.
I'd love to go to Mexico, but that'd be a little too far, I think, for a weekend trip.
Everything is far for me at this point. We're trying anything. We have to go to Germany at this rate.
Oh Lord.
Those
Hey,
people
I'm
in
off
Germany.
I would love to go back. Germany's great.
I'd love to just go, never mind go back. I'd love to just be able to go.
I lived there when I was very, very young.
Did you?
Wow.
My dad was Air Force, so that's why I was there.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
What's that?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Deutsch? I always grew up saying Deutsch.
You plot Deutsch.
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 Sprechen die Deutsch.
Ein bisschen, ja. Brandon's the one that speaks more German out of the band guys.
Who?
Brandon. He's the one who spent like a year in Germany doing. Can't remember what show.
He studied.
That's right. I think he lived there for 10 years or more.
Oh yeah, he was living there for a while. I didn't remember. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was.
Yeah, after college, I think it's like get an offer from his teacher, and he went to Germany, and he also have some experience in Japan, I think.
Yes.
It looks like Mark's going to be in Brentwood, Tennessee on November the 22nd with an acoustic story time Christmas special.
Yep, that'll be.
Yes.
Yeah, I wish that was on the weekend instead of on a Tuesday night.
I listened to his Mary Did You Know at least once a week.
Wonderful.
His performance at the Well Coffee House a couple years ago. He performed
Same place again.
Mary Did You Know, and that's so beautiful to me.
That's where he's going to be at in Brentwood here in November, the Whale.
Yes, same place, I think.
Yeah, I would love to go to that little small show like that. That would be awesome.
From what I've heard, tickets are selling out pretty quick for that too already.
Well, it's a small venue too.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to get a subscription to Sirius XM just so I can listen to it.
Get the trial. Get the trial.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah, wait until closer to the date and then just
sorry, what was that, Anna?
just wait until it's closer to the date, buy a membership, and
okay.
Or not buy a membership, just go for the trial and then cancel it. So it'll cost you nothing.
Yeah.
If I keep Sirius in my car year round, so
there you go.
Just have to tune in.
I wish they would live stream it. Or even charge to watch it. That would be fine.
I know they could probably sell tickets for live stream tickets. Yeah.
I would definitely do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you'd think they would.
That was the only good thing about lockdown and stuff. He had all those, concerts on YouTube and everything.
That was nice for a lot of us who don't live near them to be able to see those too. So yeah.
I remember that one.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that one live stream where the cat food came out right at the when you finished that one song.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. And of course he sang my favorite, I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. I just loved his voice on that.
Yeah. Very nice song. Emily, I keep hope that they get close to you one of these days.
Yeah, I had to travel with Anna and
up to see
Norma,
to Seattle, and that's not close.
No, that was not.
2,000 miles.
It was
I
worth
will be
it.
out close
yeah,
to you,
that was
so I can go visit. I'm all into traveling these days.
Me too.
I am too, within reason. I can only take so many days off a year to go to arrange stuff to go see him.
Bonnie, you took a lot of pictures in Milwaukee. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Buildings I've never
like
seen.
Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Milwaukee's nice.
I've never seen a lot of that.
Oh, wow.
And I live 70 miles away, but you have to drive around a little bit. I just go down there to ball games and concerts.
Don't do much exploring.
Is that?
You don't do much exploring?
Well, not down there. I didn't know some of those places were up in certain parts of the city that you just normally don't go to.
Right.
But
right.
Bonnie was driving around all over the place.
Bonnie is good about that. It's like, okay, I'm here. Let's go see what there is to see.
Yeah.
Bonnie, you're very good about that.
Yeah. Well, you are too.
Nah, that's true. I'll get there a day in advance and go basically a day early and stay like 2 days afterwards before I go home. Just drive around, check out stuff and look around, see what there is to see. It's like, I'm here. I might as well take advantage of things while I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Because it's like, I don't know when I'm going to be back to this end of the world again. So I might as well see what I can see while I'm here. So.
Yeah. I did the Miami tour this year. I did the Milwaukee tour this year. And then, kind of dabbled around Atlanta a little bit.
Yeah.
And then next year doing Boston. I'd love to do Nashville.
Alberta, Canada?
I don't have a passport, but maybe in the summer sometime.
That Ottawa date is looking nice now, maybe.
Yeah, what is summer? 2 weeks in July?
Oh, come on now. It's not that bad. You're up north, Rick. You know how.
No, it's finally gone.
I'll be in Orlando in April for a friend's daughter's wedding.
Where?
Orlando, Florida.
Oh, sweet.
Maybe go to Disney. I don't know if I can find some money.
Yeah, I should take your credit cards.
I was gonna say Disney World. I was Disney World many, many years ago, and it was not cheap back then.
No.
Of course, I spent more time at Epcot than Disney World. I fell in love with Epcot.
They've redone a lot of it, or they're in the process of redoing a lot of it.
Wow. Okay. Because my mom and I went down there. We took basically a girls' trip when she was still able to travel, and she was in Disney World. And I said, "You can have Disney World." I said, "Just leave me at Epcot," because I spent like most of my week just strictly at Epcot.
Please tell me, what is Epcot?
Yeah.
What is Epcot?
It's
Every person comes out tired.
It's a theme park in Central Florida, and it's got like two sections. One's called like Future World, which is like Mission Space and Adventure Pavilions, and then the other part's like a World Pavilion, which it has Italy, Germany,
Canada,
and this little small sections. And they got to fix it. It feels like you're actually in them countries when you're in the little small pavilions they have set up.
It's part of the Disney network of theme parks too. Yeah.
Right.
Sounds very people-y.
Yes, very people-y.
Very people-y. I would have never thought of that term, but I like that term, people-y.
Experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
Oh, neato. That's neat.
Gary, where is Gary?
He's upstairs sleeping.
Oh no.
Sleeping.
I couldn't drag her down here, so I think my thing was on mute here, so I couldn't get through there. I was going to ask a question of Tristan there, but I didn't get to. So maybe I'll ask you to the group here, though, since I have you all on. Has anybody ever listened to Queen's White Queen live at Hammersmith from 1975? Anybody ever seen that video?
No.
Pieces of it.
I've watched
ahead.
all versions of White Queen, but I don't know if specifically how that one went.
If you ever get a chance on YouTube, go on and watch that. So it's White Queen live at Hammersmith, 1975. And just listen to that's just a phenomenal song. I'd love to have the band do that. The guitar in it is so intricate, and the interplay between guitar and Freddie's keyboards and his vocals, the vocals are haunting. Just if you get a chance, go watch that.
Yeah.
I will definitely
love the 70s stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Wendy is recording this, and she is going to be posting it on her YouTube channel at some point. And Tristan has already messaged me that he does want a copy of the recording, so maybe we can make sure that your question gets in the recording.
Okay, great.
That's
there you go.
One thing I was wondering from Tristan, he made 2 Star Trek references. I'm wondering if he's a fan. Because we're big time.
Well, I know he likes Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
He watches that.
I can picture him as a Trekkie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up on those 2 references he gave.
Reference to holiday, and I'm a musician, not a doctor.
Yeah, that one.
Not a videographer.
Videographer, yeah.
Hey, Anna, are you going to go to the concert that was just announced in Canada?
Oh, that's still like
a year away.
4,500 miles away.
Oh, really?
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't know how it was in conjunction where you live.
I live in the boonies, you could say.
Boonies, the boondocks?
The boondocks, yes.
You live in Dog River?
Probably closer to Jackie than
Jackie and me.
Yeah, I live in Edmonton, in the big city. So
Edmonton.
Opposite.
Queen Extravaganza has been to Edmonton a few times.
Yes, I wasn't a fan back then. I missed any opportunity. I missed every opportunity down here was in Edmonton as well. And I kicked myself to this day since I became a fan. Like, why weren't you a fan back then?
Down Here has a song called Don't Be So. There's a line in there. It says, running in circles, running in circles, running in circles. Well, I heard that song when I newly discovered Down Here, like 3 years ago. But like 2 years prior, I saw my nephew using that on Facebook, that term, running in circles, and I thought, that's so cute. So I asked him the other day if he knows about Down Here, and he said he didn't.
Really?
Wow.
I would have thought that would have been where he had gotten that from.
That's what I thought. I'd never heard it before.
That's a good thing.
Nobody knows.
For me, that line reminds me of the movie This Is Spinal Tap. Don't know if any of you have ever seen that one. The thing with Stonehenge and the midgets running around the Stonehenge. That's what conjures up in my mind.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I often wonder where some of that inspiration came from. Like, where is this?
Good question.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh, I wanted to, speaking of wanting to know, I was wondering if any of my questions got answered that I had posted, when you asked us to ask questions, Bonnie.
I'm sorry?
You know how you asked us to post questions?
Yes.
And they asked, and I was wondering how that part went.
Maybe I missed. Oh.
I think it went fine.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I'll watch it when I get home, or whenever you post it.
Yeah. take Wendy a couple of days because what she does is she edits it all up, and then she posts it to her YouTube channel, and then we'll post it to the fan groups.
Okay.
It's a major task. It takes some time to do some video editing.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think last year it was like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks before I think the final thing got posted, I do believe. It was quite a while.
There's a lot more involved with it than you think.
Yeah, you're right.
We tried to ask the questions that would apply to most people, that would be interested. Yeah. I don't remember what your questions were.
I don't either.
Yeah. He was quick to answer questions. We went through them a lot faster than I thought we would. He's real quick to give a short answer.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
then who knows?
Can't wait to watch it. Yeah.
Even with as much talking as he did, he was still pretty quick to go through it all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
he'd answer a question and then take off in some direction that we didn't know. It's just, yeah.
Well, and Brandon did the same thing last year.
Yeah, once you opened the door for him to, talk about a topic.
Yeah.
He just took it.
Well, guys, I'm gonna go.
I was gonna say, should we all wish Mark happy birthday and get that part recorded, and then
why not?
Because I'm tired.
Yeah, it's that
It's
time.
almost 11 here.
Yeah, let's try to say happy birthday with video on. All right.
All right, everybody video on.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's going to count us down?
We're not singing, are we?
No.
Okay.
I thought we were going to sing.
Okay.
Norma, you start.
Are we singing?
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday, Mark. Love you.
Happy anniversary, Mark and Crystal, coming up.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
12 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
And they still look the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Now let's take picture. So give your best smile. Your screenshot. Okay, ready?
Wait.
1, 2, and smile. Okay. Hold on. Okay, ready?
These
1, 2,
These curves.
and smile. Okay.
Everybody freeze? Oh no.
Are we frozen or what?
Thank you very much.
Just trying to make sure I don't get an ugly face.
I thought the screen's all frozen.
Well, thank you everybody for joining the call.
Mm.
It was great to see everybody and hear everybody.
You
It was
betcha.
fun. It was fun.
Really well.
And I hope to meet all of y'all at a concert at some point. That's my
That
goal.
would be
There you go.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I
Some
am.
central location.
My last concert, who's on here now, is Rick and Gary's wife Terry, who's sleeping, and Rebecca, who was on earlier. That was my last concert. I met all those folks.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a pleasure.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good night.
Good night, all.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again.
Have a great Merry Christmas too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody, and happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Have a
Happy
safe
Bye-bye.
holiday.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll see everybody soon, hopefully.